If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome too. My name is Tiara, and you're always welcome to come read with me. So today, I will be doing a tag. I forgot what the tag was called. I think it's called Art Book Tag or something to that effect. The title says it all, and I'll put I'll put it here. Boom. So I wasn't necessarily tagged, but this tag was suggested to me by Joseph Francis Burton, whose link I will have down there in the description. Let's get into it. Baroque. Name an extravagant book character or a character who lives an extravagant life. Now, for this, I had to choose Mary from The Polished Hoe. What made her life wasn't necessarily extravagant, but compared to the life of those born during her time and after, and compared to the life of most people during the time of slavery or whatever the situation it was in Barbados. She ended up being groomed by one of the plantation managers from the age of 12 or 14, I want to say it was about 14 years old, to eventually go on to become his mistress. And she bore him a son, and because of this, she was taken out of having to work the plantation life and taken out of the shack that she originally grew up in, and she was placed in one of the plantation homes, which was a huge home. She had her own bedroom, her own living room, her own kitchen, and everything was separate, and it had multiple floors. And you know, compared to the lifestyle that she came from originally and the lifestyle of those like her lived, she did live an extravagant lifestyle. She had it a lot better than most of the Barbadians at the time. So Mary from The Polished Hoe by Austin Clarke. Prompt 2. Impressionism. A book that left a lasting impression on you. Tell us why. So for that, it would be Sula. Surprise, surprise for anyone who's been here with me since Booktubeathon. Sula by Toni Morrison. And this is a book that made me look at myself, the way I treat people. It kind of made me externalize myself, so kind of try to look at myself from the outside so that I could better understand why a person may act the way that they act. It slows me down from making judgments on a person just because of what I hear or what I think I am perceiving at the time. So yeah, this was a book that made me look really hard at myself, my own actions, and it kind of helped to it kind of helped to inspire me to hold myself more accountable, and to be more empathetic and try to be more understanding of the world around me, the people around me, what it is that made them that way, possibly, or what they could be yearning for, possibly. So, Toni Morrison. Prompt 3. Expressionism, a book with a very personal and specific, possibly unique outlook on the world. Now, this one, I chose Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, I guess to a point it wouldn't be unique, but I'd say it's unique because most people, not only my age, but just in general, we, especially in the US of A, we are in huge amounts of student loan debt. We still go by the old school way of thinking of just, you know, go get your education or go to college, graduate from high school, go to college, get into the work field, buy a home, and it does not work that way. So with this book, we explore how Robert Kiyosaki, from a very early age, already had an entrepreneurial mindset, and that's really rare, or it's becoming less rare today, but it's still really rare for a lot of people to just nix college and say, I'm still going to become a millionaire, but on my own terms, refusing to physically show up hourly to make money versus already having the mindset of how do I make my money make money for me. Prompt 4, Surrealism. A book that puts a spin on the reality of our lives, or a sci-fi book you would recommend. This one I am choosing, it's actually a series, and I'm going to have to put a picture of it here, and I'm going to call it the Clay Chronicles. Now, I've only gotten through book 1 and some of book 2, but this one is by Ono Ike, probably. And book 1, or the prequel book, is called The Clay Queen, and book 2 is called She Died in My Arms. So with that one, we take a post-apocalyptic kind of world that has 2 main gods, and there's goddesses, 2 main goddesses, and one of the goddesses wants all loyalty to herself. She wants everyone to pledge their allegiance to her, and that puts conflict between the people who praise one god over the other. So there's a lot of conflict in there, and it's totally different. It's science fiction. I think it would go into the category of sci-fi. I haven't read the whole thing, and I don't want to give it away. I haven't even done a review on the very first book that I read, so I guess that was really short. Prompt 5, Pointillism. A book where different narratives make the bigger picture. For this one, we're going to go with Honey Hush. This is an anthology of African American women's humor, and I can definitely say that as an African American woman raised by African American women, we use humor. I think every race does, but we definitely, especially in my household, we use humor as a form of healing, as a form of understanding, and all the narratives in this book kind of show how a bunch of women of color, a bunch of black women, all kind of navigate through this world, no matter how tired to the bone they are, no matter how discouraged they are, by finding some reason to laugh, or at least having some reason to laugh that day, or finding the comedy in whatever situation they may see themselves in or may actually be in. So yeah, all of them kind of come together to say the same thing. You know, I'm hurt, I'm tired, sometimes I feel defeated, but I refuse to give up my overall happiness. I refuse to wake up and never laugh again. So that's that one. Pop art. A book that criticizes consumerism in some way or makes you look critically at current times. Now, for this one, we're going to go with The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Credit cards, just debt, keeping up with the Joneses, all of that bullshit. He calls bullshit on it. It's 100% true. We as a people, but especially in America, like I said, massive amounts of debt between credit cards and student loans and just bad decisions and money literacy and financial responsibility not being taught to us like it should. Like, of all the things we learn, those should definitely be some of the things that are instilled in us from a very young age, so that we don't get ourselves into the situations that we're in now, so we're not able to be taken advantage of financially like we are now. So Dave will make you look at yourself, make you look at your spending, make you look at the Joneses and say, I want no more. Like, I'm really ready to be out of that rat race. So Dadaism. A weird book, or a book that puts a spin on the novel format. I'm going to go with, and this one's kind of a self-help book. I guess it wouldn't be a spin on the novel format, and it's not really, no, I guess it is weird to a point, because, okay, it's called Worthy, boost your self-worth to grow your net worth. I guess what we'll call the weirdism, or what's weird or different about this one, is it makes you look at yourself. It makes you do emotional work so that you can stop being an emotional spender, so that you can stop holding yourself back from taking that next step and reaching the goal of financial comfort that you want. It kind of makes you look and say, it's not the money, because no matter how much money you make, if you're broken on the inside, you're gonna screw that money away either way it goes. You're going to find some way to self-sabotage either way it goes. So I guess the weirdness kind of this one is the way that it ties, you know, your mindset or your emotional well-being into where your net worth is at any given point in your life. And lastly, performance art, a book that would make a great movie or your favorite play. So a book that I think would make a great movie is called Sad Monsters by Frank Lesser. And this is a book that I borrowed from my library on the Libby app, and I have a picture probably here. And this one explores all of the big bad scary people that we grew up knowing. So Frankenstein, Godzilla, mummies, it's just werewolves. All of those fairy tale monsters are put in this place of, instead of them being big, bad, and scary, we see their insecurities, we see their depression, we see their daily struggles to continue to live on. And I just thought that was kind of awesome. Like, you know, where it's not, I guess it's still personified to a point, but all of those are turned around on those big, bad, scary things that we grew up with, and now we can see them on a more human or personal level. And of course we know as adults that they're not scary, but seeing them with the tables turned that way, I found it very amusing. So Sad Monsters by Frank Lesser. Alright, so that was a tag. I hope you enjoyed. Some people that I would like to see do this. Let's tag Capri Nicole, or, oh, she just changed her name, girl. It'll be linked down there in the box below. Rachel, let's do that one. We'll link it down there in the description box. And I'm trying to think of some people who haven't done the tag. Brown Girl Reading, so link her down there in the description box. And that's all that just come to mind right now, but those are the people that I kind of watched last. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Any questions, comments, or concerns, comment box down below. And if overall you just kind of like what you've seen, hit that subscribe button. It's free, doesn't hurt anybody, you know, helps you support me, and everyone needs a little support. Alright guys.